Hello, my name is Benjamin Bennett and I'm a Travellers Times youth representative, and I'm here at the Bassetlaw Worksout General Election Count.
And I'm Anastasia Bennett from Travellers Times Youth. Today we're going to be interviewing some candidates. I'm here with a local politician. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm District Councillor Annette Simpson and I'm standing for the Conservative Party as candidate for MP for Bassetlaw.
What got you into politics?
Believe it or not, I had been asked if I would do some printing for the Conservatives, and I was then asked if I would become a councillor, and I said yes.
Why Conservatives?
Interesting. All the rest of my family are Labour, and I think I wanted to be different, and Conservatives seemed like a good difference, and I've never changed my mind. They are good.
What were your interests and hobbies when you was 14?
Very much horses, and I guess studying at school, but yeah, most of the time it was just horses that I was involved with, but just horse riding, nothing competitive, or I gained more competition interests as I got older, but certainly not politics then. But we didn't have the access to politics like youngsters have today. We didn't have the television coverage, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have things like that when I was your age. So I think you're very lucky. Yeah. You've got the chance to understand a lot more than we ever got.
Do you find it important that somebody my age or a youth gets involved with politics?
Absolutely. Yeah. I had a 16-year-old out at 6 o'clock this morning in the rain delivering leaflets for me, and he is going to stand in 2 years' time to be a district councillor in the next local district election. And the younger we can get people involved, the more enthusiasm there is for their age groups to be involved generally. And that would mean that by the time they reach the age of 18 and voting, they have a huge understanding of politics, which at the moment they don't have, or they didn't have. My age certainly didn't.
Thank you very much, Annette Simpson, the Conservative candidate.
Thank you.
I'm here with Steve Brown. Please could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Steve Brown. I'm Head of Corporate Services with Bassetlaw District Council, and tonight I'm an acting Deputy Returning Officer for the elections in Bassetlaw.
Could you explain to me, what is the process of the election?
Well, first of all, for people to be able to vote in the elections, they must be registered. And I know you're particularly interested in young people being able to register and then being able to vote. Well, you're probably aware that you have to be 18 in this country to vote in the first place, but you can be registered at 16 and 17. You won't be able to vote, but the normal process is now you can register online. A form normally comes around to all properties every year as well to encourage people to register, but you must be registered. Some people think you can just turn up at a polling station and vote. You can't. You must be on the register in the first place.
How important is it to you that young people get involved in politics?
I think it's very important. The elections process is the bedrock of democracy in this country, and young people's voices are just as important as anybody else's in society. And if young people don't vote, well, I think politicians tend to listen to the people who do vote. So there is a problem in this country about young people not participating. If you don't have a vote, you can't have a voice, in my opinion. So it's important that we get young people out there and get them interested in the political process and understanding how it works.
What age did you get involved in politics?
I was interested in politics when I was at school. And when I was a student as well, and I've always been interested since, but I've always thought it's really important to vote. My parents encouraged me to vote, so I voted as soon as I could when I was 18.
Do you think it is important that people nowadays understand the importance of voting?
I think it is. I think we do know that some people don't understand exactly what's involved in the voting. One of the saddest things for me is when I hear people say after we've had an election that, oh, I would have voted, but I didn't have my poll card, so I couldn't vote. And the fact is, you don't need a poll card to vote at an election. So long as you're registered, you can go. So there are things like that, and I think we need to do more, particularly in schools, to help people understand the voting process.
Thank you very much for the interview, Stephen.
Thanks very much, and thank you for being here tonight with us on the elections. I hope you find it interesting, and I hope the viewers of your programme will take an interest in politics moving forward.
Thank you. I'm here with the independent candidate Nigel Turner. Tell me, what got you interested in politics?
I think I'm like a lot of other people in the UK, totally disillusioned with politics. All the broken promises, the lies, the deceit, and I think people, I've just had enough. So I decided to put money where my mouth is.
So, do you find it important for people to spread their opinions and their views?
Yeah. I think. We talk about us being a democratic country, but when you look at the choices that people have to vote, they're very, very few. If you're not far left or far right, who would you vote for? And that's one of the reasons why I stood. Another reason, I mean, I've got kids, I've got grandkids, but I fear for the legacy that we're going to leave our future kids, grandkids. I'm just fearful of the legacy that we're leaving them.
Do you find it important that young people about my age do get involved with politics and understand politics?
Yeah, I think that's vitally important. Yeah, we've tried to spread the word as we've been going around over the last few weeks to young people. I think it's very important. Yeah, you're our future.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Anastasia Bennett. I'm the young journalist from Travels Times. Could you introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, my name is Colonel David Sneath. I'm the High Sheriff of Nottinghamshire. It's the oldest office in the land. It's over 1,000 years old, the office of High Sheriff. And in the old days, the High Sheriff used to be responsible for every aspect of government in the local authority or the county area. So he was the judge, he collected the taxes, and he ran local government. But since Magna Carta in 1215, his powers have diminished, and now I'm a figurehead, but I'm the Queen's representative for law and order.
And could you introduce yourself?
I'm Deborah Hutchinson, I'm the Under-Sheriff, and it's my job to support and enhance the role of the High Sheriff. For those of you who might remember, yes, Minister, the High Sheriff is somebody who kind of changes office every year, but I'm sort of the permanent figure that looks after every High Sheriff as they come in and out of office.
How important to you is it that people, maybe my age or youth, spread their opinions?
It's very important, particularly that they turn out and vote and express their opinions.
Yeah. What about you?
And, well, yes, it's really important that they're engaged, because you're going to be the future runners of the country, and the sooner you start engaging, the better it will be.
Do you find it important that youths get involved with learning politics, learning what it's all about, maybe?
Yeah, it's hugely important that they understand the issues and learn some of the background facts that support various parties' policies, so that they can understand what the issues are and make informed choices.
Yeah. So you're the High Sheriff of Nottinghamshire, is that right?
I am.
So would that mean that you're one of the most famous sheriffs then? You know, like the Robin Hood kind of sheriff?
I am, and I'm proud to say that I'm the successor to the sheriff in the legend. And the Sheriff of Nottingham is the very same office holder, if you like, as I am today, except that he was appointed in a different way. And he was one of the sheriffs who was responsible really for Magna Carta happening and the development of our democracy. So he was an important figure, because the king was persuaded to get rid of him. That many of the sheriffs were seen as corrupt because they were collecting taxes for the king for foreign wars that the population didn't necessarily agree with. So what's changed? And that led to a revolt by the barons, Magna Carta in 1215, which was really the birth of our democracy. So the sort of historical background is hugely important to our democracy today, which is why it's so important that the young understand the issues and get out there and express their opinions and vote.
Well, what an amazing answer. How do you feel important, both of you?
Well, I think it's a huge honour to be, and it's unpaid, and it's a huge honour to be where we are. And I think we're very lucky to be in Nottinghamshire because although every county has a High Sheriff, nobody's heard of the High Sheriff of Leicestershire or Lincolnshire, but everybody all over the world has heard of the High Sheriff of Nottinghamshire.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of the famous sheriffs then, if I'm
Yes.
right.
Yeah, I say to people, I sometimes say I'm the Sheriff of Nottingham because that's my origin, if you like. So, and it's, as I say, an important part of the way in which our constitutional arrangements have evolved over 800 years.
Is there an image you need to keep up with? Do you have to dress like you are now every day?
Well, I dress as other High Sheriffs do. It's a late 17th century court dress, and I struggle to answer the question of where it came from, but...
Well, the 17th century court.
Yeah, apart from the 17th century court, yeah. But yes, that's what I'm wearing today. But I think it's probably a fashion that's stuck down the years for High Sheriffs.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, actually, the Undersheriff doesn't have a particular uniform. Mainly, they used to be men, and if I was a man, I'd be wearing tailcoats and pinstripe trousers. And so I'm the first female Undersheriff of Nottinghamshire, and so I got to kind of form my own outfit. So this is it.
How does it feel being the first female?
Well, I don't really. That's a difficult question. I just take it. I've sort of been a lawyer for 38 years, and there were only very few female lawyers when I first started, and but I haven't had any discrimination. I just really sort of treated it as well. Just normal. I grew up with brothers, and so I greeted the legal profession. I could talk a bit about sport, and that's always a good thing to actually hold your own with men. And so I've taken this role on, and I don't expect any discrimination, and none has been shown to me. So
that's amazing. That is.
I think it's important to realise the huge strides to be made in removing gender discrimination, and we've reached a point. We haven't finished the journey yet, but we've made huge strides in 30 years, and I'm now 69, so I've seen it all. And Deborah embodies and reflects those changes that have happened in our society in a relatively short period of time, and one loses sight of that sometimes. But there's more work to be done, and we need to see even more women in places of authority, whether it's in politics or in corporate governance or wherever.
Yeah, I think that will happen because, kind of when I started, perhaps about 400 female lawyers, we're now over 50,000. And so as that generation kind of goes on, there will be more kind of women at the top of the professions. Medicine as well. It just takes a bit of time and years to pass by for us to actually get there. But I think certainly the glass ceiling will break.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your interview.
Thank you.
This has been lovely. Thank you so much.
Good. I hope you enjoyed it.
Wonderful.
And nice to meet you as well.
And you too. Thank you. Yeah, good luck.
I'm Anastasia Bennett from the Traveller's Times, and I'm just here to interview the Liberal Democrat candidate. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name's Leon Devine. I've lived in Worksop now for nearly 29 years. And I'm standing for the Liberal Democrats this time, and I think hopefully we'll have a good, reasonable result tonight.
So tell me, what got you involved in politics?
What got me? I've always been interested in politics ever since, well, I can remember the first election I had any real interest in was in 1966, so that's a fair few years ago now. I joined the Liberal Democrats in 2010 because I thought the party made a very brave decision to go into coalition. I realised at the time it would be very, very hard going for the Liberal Democrats, and they needed people, instead of sitting on the fence, support them in the elections, to get down and actually get involved and get their hands dirty in working for them locally.
How important is it for you that people my age get involved with politics?
It is vital. I mean, I'm very glad to say, actually, one of the problems we've had this election is the fact it's fallen in the middle of A-levels, and 3 or 4 of our more enthusiastic members have had to sit back and get stuck into doing their revision and work for their A-levels rather than coming out with me on the streets as they did during the county elections. But it is vital that we get young people involved, because in the end, people my age, we're not going to be around for that much longer. It's the young people. This is an election that is it's their future in this country, and they really need to be involved and taking part. And I'd love to see the voting age taken down to 16.
When you was my age, did you want to be involved with politics? Did you know where you would be where you are now?
Well, I'm not sure how old you are, but I'll assume
14.
You're 14. Well, at 14, I didn't really know my politics, but I did get involved in the first election, 1974. I helped a little bit with the Liberals as they were then, where I lived in London, and but I think nobody really knows where they're going to be when they're 14, 15, even when they're 22. I actually emigrated when I was 22. I left school at 16, emigrated at 22 to live abroad for the rest of my life. And by the age of 32, I was back in this country. And by the age of 42, I was doing something I said I'd never do, which is work in an office. Nobody knows where they're going to be. Life is, especially these days, when our working life is going to be much longer. We have to be open to different changes. Things happen. We make changes in our lifestyles as we go on, and we have to be very open to that.
Very well said. Have you got any hobbies or interests?
At the moment, my interests tend to revolve around the Liberal Democrats. It does tend to be all pervasive. Not only am I chair of the local party, I'm also on the regional executive. I'm vice chair of the regional party. And I'm trying to set up a Liberal Democrats a group within the Liberal Democrats which is focusing on bringing peace into the Middle East rather than having conflict between pro-Israel or pro-Palestine groups.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
I wanted to interview the Labour candidate John Mann, but after several requests to interview him, he has refused. So we won't be interviewing John Mann today. But thank you for watching the programme. I've been Anastasia Bennett reporting for Travellers Times Youth.
So this is the declaration of result of poll for Bassetlaw, election of Member of Parliament for Bassetlaw on Thursday the 8th of June 2017. I, Neil Taylor, being the acting returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Duveen Leon Morris, Liberal Democrats, 1,154. Mann John, Labour Party, 27,467. Simpson Lynette, the Conservative Party candidate, 22,615. Turner Nigel, Independent, 1,014. And I hereby declare that John Mann is duly elected.
Returning officer, can I first thank you, all your staff, and all the staff involved in the conduct of the elections for their professionalism and hard work throughout. That's appreciated by all of us. Can I thank the three other candidates for the way in which they participated in this election, and can I thank the people of Bassetlaw for again putting their trust in me to be their Member of Parliament.